All right, so it's a nice morning. Got my otter. There's a day's pay right there. Got Mr. Smashy Axe. Survey says on the boots they leak instantaneously. So I was hoping that at least the right boot wouldn't leak. Cold. Oh, that's cold. That's cold. That's cold. Otter's revenge. All right, so I'm gonna get my otter. That's a nice looking otter. He got hit really hard, that one. So this otter is my third otter and my third animal this season. So basically it works out roughly about a capture a week that I've been getting off of one trap, really. But I've got 5 traps up now. I've got maybe 4 more to put up. I got a few traps down for maintenance. And well, he's definitely fairly fresh. That trap hit this guy hard. That would have been a quick demise to him. Let me get some of this ice out of here. Yeah, so that's good. Again, try not to let the fur sit on the ice or anything like that, because it'll stick to the ice and then you'll have to chop that whole ice block out to get it home. A good idea is if you can get a very large plastic bag, bring a big large plastic bag with you. That way if you get an animal you can just put him in the bag for a little bit. There we go. So yeah, he's not, he hasn't been dead long. I think he's a little bit smaller. He or she's a little bit smaller than the first one. So that was probably the small track I saw yesterday. So that's good. That means there's probably still one more otter around. Now, something that may happen once in a while, doesn't happen often, but you may catch 2 otters in the same trap at the same time. Sometimes they travel side by side, you know, whatever. It's never happened to me, but I've heard of it happening to 2 people. Could a 330 conibear handle two otters this size at one shot? On a dead hit, yeah, it could. It could. It would. You definitely wouldn't be coming back to live animals, that's for sure. So the rigor mortis hasn't quite set in, but he's good and dead. He's good and dead. Yeah. Eyes are open. That's what you want. But like what happens is the trap knocks them out. Like that, there's like a garage door coming down on you. So the trap knocks them out. Then the next thing that happens is the like they're knocked out or whatever, they drown, right? So the wind's knocked out of them, so they're going to drown in under a minute if they are still alive, and they're going to be unconscious when it happens. So that's what a humane capture is all about, and that's what I try to promote. This capture, you see the difference in the trigger when he comes like with the trigger facing the other way towards the dam. He was coming the other way and I catch him one jaw, but when he hits it, because these guys are pretty fast, so he's almost halfway through that trap by the time it's the second jaw that catches him, not the first jaw. So that's how fast these guys are, but it's still a good capture. A perfect capture is both jaws, and almost whenever they're coming the other way, like the bigger otter, he was coming the other way, and what happened with him was quite simply put is he triggered the trap sooner because the trigger was to his face side. So by the time it comes down, it hits him right in the neck, back of the neck, and the way you want, and right in the middle of the back, and you get a perfect double capture. This one's probably about 10-15 pounds. Like he's not light. These animals are not light, but I'm going to skin them right away, flesh them right away, so if I can. So it looks like I'm going to be busy for the next 4 or 5 hours, which completely throws my day off, but that's okay because this is money, and it's a bit of conservation. My uncle said he saw another otter there this morning out on the creek way over there. Could be the same otters. I mean, these things travel all over the place. Like I say, they could travel 10 miles in a night without too much effort. Like, I mean, they're fast, they're zippy, they're quite incredible little animals. I do like them. They are cute, you know. They'd be an awesome pet, that's for sure. But But they are stinky. They are a little heavy, especially when I've got to carry them about a mile. I got to get myself a trap and sleigh. Got to get myself boots that don't leak. Got 3 traps that I got to fix up. And so that, but yeah, if I catch 18, 20 of these a year, I would be doing pretty well. My focus is mainly the beavers, but it just seems like it's just the otters there. So I'm gonna have to get those traps relocated up a little bit further, because I don't think the beavers are coming down, obviously. So, but like I say, you said on the spillway, this is where you're gonna, as long as the spillway can stay open, you're gonna, it becomes a bottleneck. You'll catch whatever passes through. So far no muskrats either. I'm not saying there isn't muskrats, like whatever it was I scared yesterday, it could have been this one, who knows. Like, I mean, these guys are just, they can be 5 feet from you, and if they don't make a sound and they're slightly under the water, I mean, you're just not, you know, they'll sit there and watch you. Unless it's a big male, he'll come up and huff at you. He's like, it's that weird sound that they make. If you've never seen that or heard that, it's kind of a bizarre thing. And I scared a deer here this morning. First one I've seen in a while. It was just a big doe. Maybe she's still there. I guess the same one that's running around. Little sign of deer. Lots of signs of wolves and stuff like that. So the good news is I now have 3 otter carcasses for bait. So I do want to get my wolf snares out and traps up fairly soon. Between now and next week. The nice thing about it on land, it's a lot easier. If I have the money for next year, investments are going to be, obviously good boots, are going to be conibear holders. They're just a bunch of wire apparatuses. You can make them really easy if you got a welder, but I don't have a welder. And they're only about 11, 12 bucks a piece, but I want something that I could just set it, drop it in really quick, and be out of there in under 5 minutes. Then you could, you know, opening day or whatever, you could set all your traps out in lightning. Yeah, I mean, maybe not lightning pace. You still have to prepare the area where you're gonna have it. But once the area is prepared, then year after year, you know, pre-season, you could have everything ready to go, and then opening morning, all your traps are preset, ready to go with the safeties on these remarkable simple apparatuses known as trap holders. And yeah, you can set a trap like 10 times faster that way, and you could always get the depth right. That's what takes you the time, I find, is trying to get the depth. Like, you want to be 2 inches under the water, but you also have to understand too where to set the trap. Here's a rule of thumb. These guys, beavers, muskrats, otters, they travel on the bottom. So if it's a deep lake, they don't go all the way to the bottom of the lake. But once they get near the dam or the shoreline, because that's where the food is, right? It's like they're gonna get oyster shells, fish, clams, shellfish, little grubs, whatever it's going to be under the water, is going to be right on the floor of the lake bed or near the dam or whatever. So when they get near the dam, they got their face stuck in the mud, you know, rummaging around for stuff to chew on. So you want your trap jaws about an inch or so above the bottom of the water, or bottom of the bed, and you obviously don't want them to see a gap that looks like a possibility, because they don't think when they're doing this. It's very instinctive. It's like, oh, okay, I can fit through there, right? And they'll go. So if you have like a 3 or 4 inch gap at the top, they might try to go over your trap, which could lead to an injury or bad capture, or if you're lucky, just an all-out miss. But those 3 things you don't want.